everyone. Welcome to License Global's Fast Chat. I'm Alex Markovich, License Global's sponsored content editor, and I have the wonderful opportunity today to discuss the kids' animation show Stomp Rhinos with Rujule Gauzlauskene, a clinical psychologist and cognitive behavioral psychotherapist. Speaking alongside Rujule is Vitutos Dos Cabbages, an art therapist with experience working with adults and children. Both have had a hand in the creation of Stomp Rhinos, and what is on top of everyone's mind today is why there's a need to teach children about emotions and how cartoons can help.
Well, I believe that emotional intelligence is one of the biggest gifts that you can give to a child, because understanding the world of emotions is necessary for successful functioning in school life, in future career, healthy relationships, good mental health. Meanwhile, lack of abilities to understand and regulate your emotions lead to problems in various life domains. And as a clinical psychologist and psychotherapist, often I have situations when, for example, family brings to my office a 10-year-old and who is already having serious problems. After evaluation, I see that I need to start the therapy with teaching the child and his family the basics of emotional intelligence, which is a bit sad. It leads me to thinking that if someone had taught them the basics of emotions like 5 years ago, maybe now they wouldn't need to be in the psychotherapist's office. So I started thinking, how can we give knowledge about emotions to a wider audience? That's what my dialogue with artist and art therapist Vytautas has started.
We started talking with Rugile about emotional education, and we had this question, how could we reach a wider audience? And we started with a book, and later producer Mindaugas Jokubaitis came to us with an idea to make a TV show. And we thought, oh, great, kids love to watch cartoons. Let's try to put the most important messages about emotional education in a fun and exciting way into the show. Because I think cartoons are a great way to convey complex ideas in a simple way so that kids could understand them. And we wanted to create a show that kids could relate and develop empathy to the main characters of the show, which are rhinos. And you might think, why rhinos? During the development of the show, we were in search of characters, and we were searching for different kinds of animals that could be the show's main characters. But we chose rhinos because they are impulsive and are quick in getting angry, which suits our main purpose of the show perfectly.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my thoughts, like why you guys chose rhinos. So the show teaches kids about big emotions and how to relieve them. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Can you go into a little bit more detail?
Of course, we're happy to. So to answer your question, I'll start with an example. So let's say a 3-year-old is playing with a balloon and the balloon pops. A toddler immediately starts feeling frustration and anger. Automatic reactions overwhelm his body and brain. His heart is beating fast. Muscles are tense. His attention is focused on the problem. I want my balloon back. This might lead to external behaviors like screaming, punching, or kicking. So what do we want to do in this situation? We want to turn on child's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is responsible for rational thinking and wisdom. So there are 3 steps how we turn on the wise thinking. Step number 1, name the feeling. Sometimes even grown-up is overwhelmed by the feeling, but does not recognize what emotion is this. It's because very ancient parts of our brain are responsible for emotional reactions. So when I say, even if I say silently to myself, now I am feeling angry or sad or anxious, simply naming the emotion means that my prefrontal cortex, my rational brain, already stepped into the process. And very often, simply naming what you feel already brings some emotional relief. After the emotion is named, we can move to step number 2, regulate your body. If the body is tense, if the heart is beating fast, this means that I'm still overwhelmed by the emotions and there's no way for me to make a wise decision at this moment. So the child in this situation needs to take a short break and regulate his body. Only when a body feels regulated, we can move to step number 3, search for a wise decision, which is usually very easy to find when you are emotionally stable again. For example, ask a parent to blow you a new balloon. That's it, problem solved. But the most common mistake that I see in parents is that they jump directly to the problem solving and skip the first 2 steps. For example, they come to a child and say, "Don't cry, I'll buy you the new balloon. Why are you still crying?" Because it's not working that way. You need to name the feeling, regulate your body, and only then you can come to problem solving. So that's the sequence that you'll see in every episode of Stomp Stomp Rhinos. After the rhino relieves his strong emotions, he himself finds a way to overcome the challenge that he had before.
I really like how Rugila explains the inner workings of emotions. She's an expert on that. Yeah, and I can only add like that emotions are like the rain. Uh, we cannot stop the rain, but we can accept it and adapt to the rainy day challenges. And the same goes with emotions. So we thought that it's important to have this ability to name emotions, and that's why at Stomp Stomp Rhinos, we try to teach kids this skill, and yeah, so we show slightly different emotional situations in every episode, and we have the narrator naming that emotion. And this way, we want to teach our audience and help them widen their emotional vocabulary. And also, in those episodes, we tried to create challenges that are relevant and relatable to most of preschoolers. For instance, like envy for your sister's victory, or sorrow about a broken toy, or like loneliness if someone doesn't want to play your favorite game, or and much more situations.
Virgula, you brought up emotional regulation. Can you tell me what it is and how Stomp Stomp Rhino teaches it?
Mhm. Emotional regulation is a skill that is necessary for all of us, not only children. When we experience intense emotions, we need to take a short break and take care of ourselves before we do anything else. Often people say me, "Okay, so I will take a short break, but what should I do during this short break?" The answer is that we don't have one method that would be perfect for everyone, but we have hundreds of evidence-based methods that you can choose from. And in every episode of Stomp Stomp Rhinos, we teach new emotional regulation method. Because in my career of working with children, I've noticed that different children prefer different methods. It depends on their temperament and on their habits. So our goal was to show a wide range of possibilities that families would have options to choose from. For example, I can teach you my favorite method.
Mhm.
It's called butterfly tapping. So you put your hands like this, opposite hand on opposite shoulder, and you do tapping with one hand, then the another, one hand, then the other. And then we add slow breathing. Slowly breathe in,
Mhm.
hold the breath, then slowly breathe out. Slowly breathe in, hold the breath, then slowly breathe out. So this is very simple method. You can teach it to any preschooler, but from scientific perspective, it's like 3-in-1 superpower calming down method. Because first of all, you hug yourself, which is cozy. Second superpower is that opposite hand touches the opposite shoulder, which is a cross movement. Cross movements are slightly challenging for our brain to perform. That's why it activates our brain and our thinking becomes slightly more rational. And third superpower, slow breathing, which is one of the fastest way to calm your body. So I just showed you this one because that's my favorite. Rhino
Mhm.
Mom applies it in episode 10 of season 1 of Stomp Rhinos. But we have many more different methods like running your emotions out, using drawing to express your feelings, breathing methods, mindfulness methods, and much more.
I think also it's important to mention that children learn by observing and copying what they see. So, watching an animated show where characters learn how to calm down, I think is a great way to teach kids about emotional regulation. It's easier for a child to learn when he sees the techniques being modeled on screen. For instance, they see a cute little rhino who experiences anger, uh, manages his emotion, and calms down. And I would also like to add that every culture has their own tales and myths that they tell to their children in order to guide them through life's challenges. And although all tales are really great and I like them, but the world is moving forward and constantly changing. So we can ask ourselves, what stories do we tell our children? And I think we need new tales to help them in those new arising challenges. And I think psychological well being is one of those challenges. And emotional regulation is a powerful tool that is so helpful for us all. And that's why we wanted to create this story that could teach children and guide them in mastering this amazing technique that is so beneficial to us all. And also, we believe that teaching kids about emotions will make them more emotionally resilient and prepared for life's challenges.
Mm. Yeah, life definitely has a lot of challenges. So, how does your show create family unity and benefit the family in general?
Well, we really try to do that because emotional situations are very powerful moments that can connect the family or separate it. And most of you have probably heard about the timeout method when you say to a child, go to your room and calm down, and we'll talk when you will be calmer. Well, timeout method is proving as not very effective because a child goes to his room and has no idea what to do to calm down. So in Stomp Rhinos, we teach a method which has been proven as much more effective. It's called time in method. When you come to a child who is frustrated or angry or anxious, and you say, I understand what you feel, and I'm here for you. And let's search for a way to relieve your strong emotions together. And we hope that by showing this behavior in Rhino family, we teach not only children, but their parents and caregivers as well, how to react when your child is experiencing a hard time.
Yes, I agree with Rugila. When you accept your emotions, you are able to connect in a deeper sense. And we believe that the best emotional and educational effect of some rhinos would be if families would watch it together and talk it through afterwards. Because we know it's hard to talk about emotions. You don't know where to start. So, Stomp Rhinos could be a powerful tool to start this conversation about emotions in your family and create a stronger, deeper bond in the process. Also, we wanted to promote compassion and understanding in the family. That's why we were thinking how the show's characters interact with each other. For example, we have moments where Big Brother Noah notices his little sister in distress, and he comes to help her in calming down. Because we hope that this kind of behavior would inspire kids to notice and help each other. And we believe that showing empathy on screen will transfer to our daily lives.
Yeah, I really like this focus on emotional regulation and emotional intelligence. I think it will definitely help turn turn humans into better people and a more productive, healthier society. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for carving out the time to speak with me today. The first season of the show is planned to be finalized next year. Again, I'm Alex Markovich, and that's it for today's License Global's Fast Chat.